Hey guys, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So, before we get into the stitches, I wanted to share with you guys some things that I've learned in this new book that I'm currently reading. But so far, I'm at chapter 4. I've written down some notes before we get into the stitches. Okay, so the first thing is men are incapable of love, and they tell us this every single day. They show us this every single day. Men's motive when they approach you is not to love you, right? They want something from you. They approach you with a motive, and it's always to gain something, to obtain something from you, right? The world is the way it is because women refuse to take their rightful position. Men blame women for everything. Most women choose to be ignorant to the true nature of men. Men uses psychology, philosophy to gain control and to govern the world and to govern women, right? To control women's resistant to male insemination. Now I had to look that one up and I'm like, what the heck is that? And really it's just pregnancy, right? And also, sorry, to confuse women, to make it acceptable to abuse women. How? Under the guise of God and sacrifice. I am someone who always encourage you to deconstruct from everything you've ever been taught, like deconstruct from all of it. Find your own answers, find your way. It's going to be hard because it's not just men, right? Women are in place, those pygmies are in place because the patriarchy benefits them. They don't want to let go. They don't want to find their true power, their true purpose. They don't want to do that, right? For years and years, they've been told that, they're less than, that the man is in charge, etc. So some of them don't even want to break away from that. They don't want to give the little power that they feel they have up, you know. So I want to encourage you guys to start the 4B movement. I mean, really start. Is it going to be difficult? Hell yeah. It is going to be difficult. As someone who loves men, it's going to be difficult. It's not something that anyone is, just happy about. But it's time to really stand on business. It's time to, you know, say enough is enough. We have the power to do so. Stop believing that you are less than. Stop believing that the man has more power than you. Like, absolutely not. One more thing. She stated, women women's brains are wired to preserve social harmony, but the male's brain is wired for competition. When they fuck up, who has to clean up? I don't really know. I feel like I'm just talking in circles, and does it matter how much, you know, you say? Women are just they're too deep into the patriarchy, and like I said, the little bit of um power they feel like they have, they want to hold on to, right? They don't want to give that up. Let's see how these next 4 years unravel. Yeah, let's get into the stitches and go down in the comments. Let me know. Are you going to be part of the 4B movement? Or are you voting yes or hell no?
The population in Korea, I think it was either last year or the year before. I can't remember, forgive me, I don't remember the genesis of it, when it started. But for once, their population of people who died outweighed who was born. That hasn't happened in the history of Korea. Why? Because women are refusing to have kids until they're treated equally and fairly. And turns out women are a lot more essential than you would think, than men believe them to be. Because now the government is panicking because they're like, what are we gonna do? Like, we're gonna die out unless women decide to start having kids again. And they're refusing until they are awarded the exact same rights and respect that men are awarded in their society. And so when people have asked me how I feel, I say, period. Whatever gets them to listen, bitch, I don't give a fuck. If it means I'm clocking out, good luck having kids without me.
If you thought you were involuntarily celibate before, wait until you see what women are like when they realize that having one of your babies could cost them their life. Oh, you definitely won't be getting any. And you know what? It's what you deserve. But now these women can focus on their careers. They can focus on their female friendships. You already hate the fact that there are rich aunties out there, child-free and happy. You just made even more of them. You said you were going to get your passport, but you didn't do that. You said there's no need. You can change the laws right here. Good luck with that, because these women aren't risking it. But shout out to the child-free women who are really appreciating the life that they're living, where they're not with a man who thinks that everything that has to do with that child is your responsibility. You thought that you were really going to stick it to women, but what you really did was you're going to let them realize how amazing life is for some of them without children. Some of your genes do need to die off. So I know you wanted a legacy. You wanted a little mini-me to be as mediocre as you are. Now you won't even get that.
We have the power to make morons go extinct like dinosaurs. The morons here are just creating mediocrity. They are creating harm to Mother Earth. They're disrespecting the planet. And they are cancer to the planet. We don't need that, okay? We can live without mediocrity. We can live without the morons, okay? And if you're continuing to procreate with morons, you're just making little morons. We don't need that, Sugarfoot. Y'all acting like pregnancy is not a high risk as a woman, especially a black woman. You can possibly die from childbirth, and you out here going half on a baby with a moron that hasn't even bought you a ring or signed paperwork to commit their life to you? How silly. But you thinking, oh, he gonna stay because he loved me. He is just talking. It's all talk, no bite. You need to let people be about that action. You need to see paperwork. You need to see funds in the bank account. You need to quit being on this fantasy and just being all in la la land as a woman and just thinking that love is sex or love is attention. Love is respect. Does this motherfucker respect you or not? If he respects you, he will put his life on the line and sign some paperwork for you. If he not willing to do that, don't have no baby with no modern day bum.
Now that the dust has settled, it's a couple of things that I want to say. Y'all, I think I'm ready to go full 4B. I'm ready to go full 4B movement on the men. Actually, black men, y'all did well. We got about 80% or so. It's always going to be some knuckleheads that think they white and got a white woman or, whatever. Y'all, the black men did pretty good. I'm not specifically mad at black men. It's just men in general treating women like, why are our rights always up for grabs? It's not a free country if every 4 years I got to fight for my life. Like, if y'all insist on making women second-class citizens, we don't have to give you our body. If we got to fight for our reproductive rights, we don't have to give you children. We don't have to reproduce with you. We're going to do like they doing over in Korea. Korea got a whole missing class of children because they stopped mating with the men and they stopped giving birth because their rights were not being protected and because the men were not doing their fair share. And I'm ready to go full 4B. Women, if you haven't heard of it, look up the 4B movement. I think that the only way that women are going to get respect and change the narrative and break out of this misogynistic patriarchal nightmare is to withhold our bodies and start demanding more. We cannot be pick-me's. We cannot be chasing after men. We cannot be using our emotions and making excuses for men's poor treatment of us. We cannot be protecting DL men, especially in the church. We cannot be protecting predators. We have to stand up for us and us only, because that's what they're doing. And we are standing by our men, supporting them, supporting the church in their misogyny and making us feel like second class citizens, and going along with it like we agree with it. Like we really think the abortion is the issue, when really the issue is women's sexual freedom. You don't want women to feel sexually free. You want men to feel sexually free and women to be punished and carry the burden and shame of unwanted pregnancy or STDs or so on and so forth. And guess what? Well, then y'all just be celibate. How about that? How about y'all just how Grindr crashed at the RNC because y'all was DL? Y'all go ahead and keep doing that. And then we'll just keep our stuff to ourselves, or we'll just share it with each other. And then we'll just go our separate ways. How about that? But as for women continuing to participate in the misogyny, even especially in our churches, like I just have zero patience for it anymore. I'm just not going. I'm not going. Men, they act like women are so emotional. The crash outs that I see are men. Men are crashing out. If you tell them no, when you try to act like you don't want to give them your number or that you are not interested in them, you become all kind of bitches, whores, fat, black, ugly, all kind of things. Like the men are the ones that's crashing out. And I think we need a good old timeout from each other. If you are in a marriage that's horrible, get out of it. Get out of it. If you have trouble getting out of it and can't live on your own, get you one or two best friends and y'all make a little female compound with you and your children, and y'all help each other and take care of each other. There is ways. We do not have to continue to subject ourselves to abuse, to being second class, to misogyny, to all of these things, and then can't even get adequate health care, because this is what we voting for. This is what men want. And white women, y'all did not show up. Latino men, I don't got nothing for you, Jose. If they come and get your abuela, good. I don't know what to tell you. If y'all want to be white and they want to deport your grandma, I'm letting her have it. I'm not marching with nobody else. White women, y'all got to do better. Y'all still want to sleep with the men, the black men, but y'all not showing up at the polls the way y'all said. Y'all did better. Not even better. No, y'all did terrible. White women, y'all did terrible. Y'all did decently okay, but how y'all was talking, y'all didn't show up like y'all was supposed to. And women in general, we have to reevaluate what we are accepting and what we want out of life. We are letting Christianity convince us that God wants us to be second place in our own homes, in our own lives. Like we gotta be. We're giving men all the main character stuff, but we doing all the heavy lifting and all the work in the relationship and for the family and with the kids and all of that stuff, while they just sit there and get to claim authority. And we just going along with it like, that's what God wants. He doesn't want me to leave this abusive relationship. What God? That is... We got God twisted, and I feel like God is pissed about it. And I think that things are going to keep getting worse until women get pissed enough to do something different, which is withhold your body, stop engaging in these fugazi, ridiculous relationships, and pull out until you get your worth. If you are in a relationship with a man and he is not treating you to what you value and you continue to stay there, then you are just as much part of the problem as he is. Because if you withdraw yourself, if we withdraw our presence, if we stop playing the game don't exist. We got to stop playing it. 4B. I'm full 4B at this point.
I've been scrolling, and I don't know if you guys have been seeing the commentary of the 4B movement by men and their entitlement to women's bodies. Women are saying they're going to go celibate, which I fucking endorse if that is what you would like to do. But the amount of men who say like they don't care, they're going to take what's theirs. Their wife is going to give them children. Their girlfriend's going to give them children. They're going to do what they please. Reminds me of the 1950s nuclear family that so many conservatives voted for. I feel like they didn't remember how many of those their grandmothers were raped. They didn't want to have children. They didn't want to be with this person. Like, this shit was arranged for them. It's very fearful, and I feel like no one realized how the leopards will eat everyone's face. They'll start off with the minorities, the queers, and it'll get to your next door neighbor, and it'll get to you. Because something about you is not perfect. Because something you do does not align. So the 4B movement is just like an American new wave of feminism, which I fucking love that's happening, but I don't know where we're going, and I don't think anyone knows that, and that's the fearful part about what's happening right now.
Hey, what's up? I'm Sasha Graham. I'm a female separatist, radical feminist, and I do outreach for the 4B movement. If you haven't done the 4B movement, either present or post-election in the US, here's some information you should know. Now, a lot of the reason why some social movements have failed in the past is because they lose steam. Implementing elements of separatism into your life ensures that the movement has some protection from burnout and die down. There are some really dedicated sisters who have taken the initiative to break up with their boyfriends, to throw out all their makeup and divorce their husbands, but what comes after that? What you want to do is a thing called community building. You want to start reaching out to sisters in your area or sisters in your country to start building networks to protect them from things like loss of employment, loss of resources, loss of housing, etc. You also want to practice the B's religiously. That means no dating with men, no marrying men, no childbirth, no talking to men, no buying unfair products, and B supports B. What that means is that you support other sisters who are separatists. You want to support the media that separatists create. You want to focus your efforts on supporting organizations that prioritize women's initiatives. You want to make purchases from female-only businesses, but you also want to be careful of the noble donkey. The noble donkey is basically like the pick-me on steroids. Her only concern is like national interests or preserving the patriarchy or preserving male rule. They will be outwardly anti-separatist. You also want to avoid engaging with them and with incels or anyone who seeks to distract you from your initiatives. Community building and grassroots organizing is the hallmark of the 4B movement. I do have a Discord server that serves as an information exchange, so if you're interested in joining and connecting with more 4B sisters, go ahead and send me a DM and we'll get you started right away.
I am so thankful for this comment. I had no idea what the 4B movement was. I was completely uneducated on this topic, and I've been spending the last hour or so deep diving into videos and articles on what the 4B movement is. I'm going to put all that information together and make another video in a little bit. I just want to say, women, whether you were born woman or identify as woman, you have so much more power than we even believe, that we even know. They have created this idea that we have to go with the rhetoric that they're putting on us. You want to keep your rights? Let's create this 4B movement here in the United States.
America, it's our time. We on 4B, man. These motherfuckers hate us. These motherfuckers hate us, man. Fuck them. Time to reciprocate this energy. Rise up, y'all.
So I have decided after Trump won today, I looked it up this morning, I am going to be with the women with the 4B movement. I will no longer be sleeping with men. Yeah, I got about 4 years for me. It's okay. It's going to keep me focused. It's going to keep me focused. I've decided that. I just decided that 5 minutes ago. No more coochie. I put that on the dead homies. You're welcome.
And now that I'm done crying, let's talk about the 4B movement and it's slowly implementing its way to the United States, because after last night's results, I think it's time we kick it into overdrive. Now, if you're not familiar with the 4B movement, it's a movement that began in 2019 in South Korea. Now, the proponents of that movement refuse to date men, get married, have sex with them, or children. There are 4 tenets of the 4B movement. Again, no sex, no birth, no dating men, no marriage to men. Now, the reason why that is significant is because of 2 things. One, women are talking about bringing that 4B movement right here to the United States after last night's recent events. And 2, that 4B movement in South Korea has such a staunch impact on the entire nation. They literally don't have 1st or 2nd graders coming into school. Shout out to Anna Louise Sussman, who wrote this article for the Free Press. And in this article, she talks about how South Korea is running out of kids, quite literally running out of kids. You're probably thinking, who cares if they're not having kids? Well, the government cares. The government cares that they're not having kids because children are the future labor force. And without kids, you don't got a republic. Think about that for a second. Now, in Anna's article, she talks about how the education ministry in South Korea plans to reduce the number of teacher training places, citing the precipitous decline in students, which is so goddamn extreme that in March of this year, they had closed over 150 schools. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. A movement which only began in 2019, by 2024 had seen over 150 schools closing. And in the next decade in South Korea, we'll begin to see the effects in the labor force because if 150 parochial schools starting from first grade and on are closing, imagine how many middle schools are going to close. Imagine how many high schools and universities in South Korea that will close because there are no children. Now take a step back and think about the impact on the economy in South Korea. It's not looking good for the government there. And you're probably wondering, well, can we do that here in America? We definitely can. We already have a sharp decline in labor against women here in the United States. And on top of that, we just implemented the overturning of Roe v. Wade. And on top of that, child immortality rates have skyrocketed. I don't know, friend. I feel like the 4B movement here in the United States had already kicked off. It already kicked off when we saw the declining in child births back when we had conducted the census in 2020. But now that I really think about it again, we need to kick that into overdrive. Because my question is, why is y'all still trying to have babies with these men? Why? It's a quick question. I know some of y'all want to be mothers. I get that. Rah, 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 baby, baby, baby. But why are y'all still y'all can have kids without these men. You can. You can do that. Because everything we figured out last night about this election should tell you everything that you need to know about the future of America. Because why exactly are you going to keep becoming subservient to a nation that doesn't literally care about you? I don't know about y'all, but this sounds like an awesome plan to me.
Girlies, I understand we're talking about not giving the coochie up anymore, but I need y'all to understand with that, the men are going to get very, very, very violent. And since they got a felon and a rapist up in the office, they're going to be like, oh yeah, I can do this. As a girlie who hate pew-pews and is fully against pew-pews, I think it might be time for us to invest in some pew-pews. Would you rather be locked up because you got an abortion? Or locked up because you possibly had to unalive somebody that was trying to take advantage of you? I don't know. I think we gotta choose the lesser of two evils now, y'all. I'm just saying.
Now we know. Well, I mean, we've always known, but officially, now we know that America doesn't give a fuck about women. Women are not respected in this country, and so now I fully support the 4B movement. Don't cater to men. Don't date men. Don't sleep with them. Don't give them babies. Men are emotional. They're irrational. They start wars because their fifis got hurt. This is the consequences to their actions. It's the find out phase of fuck around. But check out my previous post in the link in my bio. There's a doctor who has a list of doctors who were performed tubal ligations. But do it while you still can. Well, we still have little rights to our bodies.
The scary thing about this 4B movement is, yes, obviously, we are electing to not engage in interactions with men, but will that really stop them? Is the thing. But, I mean, hey, 4B movement, let's fucking go, girl.
You know what's on the other side of not having sex? Peace. Peace of mind, and knowing that you're not going to catch a disease, you're not going to get pregnant, you're not going to potentially die by risking your entire life to bring someone else's seed into the world. And these are the conversations that we need to be having with our daughters. We need to be talking to them about what is really going on in the world. Empower them to know their worth, to know their value. Anytime that you decide to lay up with another individual, you are altering your DNA, you are exchanging fluids, you are energetically agreeing to potentially make this person the father of your child. And why would you risk all that, potentially risking death, for someone that is not committed to you, for someone that has not invested into you? It's not worth it. It's time to close it up, ladies, and only really open yourself up to people that have proven to you that they are worthy.
Ladies, I'm not saying this to be facetious, But I don't care if you're a rose girl, a wand girl, or a monster alien tentacle girl. Stock up now for your moments of weakness, because I promise you ain't no alive worth getting stuck with a man. None. We are taking coochie off the table indefinitely.
Thank you so much for making it this far into the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. Hey guys, Editing Jenny here. The main point of my videos is always going to be to empower women to take charge and to know their worth, to protect women, and for women to claim their own rights. Most women choose to be ignorant to the true nature of men. Men has been given a role in society that they never should have had in the first place. Men know women are superior, and women are actually not aware. Again, like I said before, they use psychology to make us believe that. See you guys in the next video. Bye.